Okay, here we're back from break. We're doing a series of character decks using only Kaiba and Yugi's cards. If you'd like to see the Yugi deck, click the link below. This is part 2 of a series of 2 videos. So, I'll hand it over to Casey.
Hi. So, these decks are just character decks that basically use only the cards that Kaiba and Yugi used in the series and manga. No new cards or updated cards, nothing that they didn't use, none of that is in here. The extra decks are also only cards that were used in the original YGO series that they actually used. I'm going to explain all of that. But they're just kind of fun. Usually keep these in like a double deck box and just challenge someone to, do you want to be Kaiba or Yugi or whatever. And so anyway, if you want to check out the Yugi deck, that's on the link. This is for Kaiba. Start with the monsters. We have Vampire Lord. It's a classic Kaiba card. Really good. If you ever played zombies, then you know what it does. It's pretty much, a 1 tribute, 2000 attack, dark zombie that when you inflict damage to your opponent, you get to mill a monster spell or trap from the deck that you choose. You just choose the type, then they send it. Let's see, DD Warrior Lady. You can banish her and whatever monster she does battle with. It's pretty good. Enraged Battle Ox. I think he just does piercing is his thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much good card. 1700 attack, level 4. A lot of this deck, if you don't know Kaiba's deck, it's a classic beatdown deck. Let's see. Mosaic Manticore. A lot of people probably won't know what this card is or does, or where it was used for Kaiba, but it was in the Yu-Gi-Oh! R manga. The idea is kind of to use it and set up to summon Obelisk or God card or Blue Eyes or something. But what this one does is it's a 2800 attack, level 8, that the monsters you tribute for it get special summoned back during the next standby phase. So if you've got these on the field and or even anything like that, you can have strong monsters that you want to you tribute them for it. I've even tributed Blue Eyes and things like that, stronger monsters, to get this out, because even if they trap hole it or do whatever and kill it, as long as it's tributed, tribute summon and makes it to the field, its effect will still go off next standby phase. These 2 monsters will special summon back. So, and as long as he stays on the field, then you get 3 monsters the next turn. So that's pretty good. It's also good sometimes you can tribute 2 good monsters off, get them out, and Dark Hole or something, whatever you have to do. Let's see. Vorse Raider. If you're a fan of Kaiba's deck, this was always a card I liked. Vorse Raider. It's just kind of a tough one, and I remember when it came out in the tin, it was really cool. Let's see. Blade Knight.
When did it come out in the tin? I forgot.
It was like one of the first tins released was like Vorse Raider, and it was just kind of cool because you'd see him get used in the show, but then he wasn't released in anything else except for the tin, and then later re-released a couple times. But it's just kind of interesting, Blade Knight. That's another one that some people don't remember how he used. Was Blade Knight. His effect is based on you having 1 or less cards in your hand. His attack goes up to 2000, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's a good top deck.
Yeah, and you can top tag him and stuff. But I mean, he's still 1600 attack. He's a light type warrior, level 4. He's a good one. So, and then his effect's not bad because in these decks, like sometimes you do end up, just using all your cards and then you've got nothing. Just use Blade Knight, and that's part of how it's beat down is that he can become, he's got a decent attack and then becomes 2000. Slate Warrior, another one, 1900 attack. Kaiba had a few of these, 1900 attack, level 4 monsters. But this one's got a few effects. One is that it's a flip effect monster that if you were to set Slate Warrior, and if it were to be flipped, or if you flip it, his attack jumps up to 24, so it's pretty cool. The other thing is, and part of the good thing about setting him, if you're trying to flip him and give him 24, is if he's destroyed by battle, the monster that destroys him, its attack goes down 400, I think. No, 500 points. So it weakens the monster that kills it. So you can always just throw him down to weaken something, and you know, if they don't attack it, then you get a 2400 beater, so pretty good. Morphing Jar. Kaiba was the original jerk that used Morphing Jar. He was the first troll, so... You know.
Well, Yugi played card destruction. Kaiba just wanted the monster version of it, basically.
And we discussed
he played
earlier.
jars in general, actually.
Yeah, we discussed before, but basically, like, these two decks are pretty well matched up, and they're pretty solid the way they are. You know, against any deck, they're just, you know, without being up to date, they can't really, like, play competitive, but the thing is, Kaiba's deck was just kind of overpowered because he had every good card in the game.
He was rich.
He was rich, yeah, so he could afford Raigeki and, you know, Crush Card and everything else that was...
Because in that show, they were super rare, and
Right, so he had all the best cards. Yu-Gi-Oh! Just had the heart of the cards. So, Morphing Jar, really great card, and it helps with this deck a lot, especially when you end up with using all your cards.
He had the Morphing Jar back when it was a turbo pack only.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a $300 card.
Lord D, most people know what this does, but don't use it. Kaiba, this was kind of like a staple for every deck build he made.
Yeah.
It's Lord of D, I'd say, is his dark magician girl to his blue eyes. He would always have Lord D in his deck. Yeah. Right. Sorry, that threw me off. So, Lord of D, which goes with the spell card that's in this deck, Flute of Summoning Dragon, you can only use that spell if you've got him on the field, and if you know what it all does, it special summons 2 dragons from your hand. So, 2 blue eyes on the field. And Lord of D's effect, he keeps your dragons safe from being targeted by any effects, monster, spell, or trap, so pretty cool. Then the next few are X, Y, and Z, you know, head cannon, dragon head, and metal tank. These were kind of the original Union monsters that came out that were pretty awesome. Unions, most people know what they do, and they're coming back again now with Vylons. So, but these were kind of the original Union monsters, and they were really good. Also, they were like the first monsters to use, you know, fusion summoning without polymerization. You know, before Gladiator Beasts or things like that. You just, you know, you have him on the field, you drop this, and you can banish them, you know, or remove from play at the time to get their, you know, their different fusion incarnations. And most of them, they pretty much all have these shared effects that involve discarding cards to either negate or destroy things. And the boss one was this one here, the XYZ Dragon Cannon, where if you could banish all 3 and get him out, I guess what card is that comparable to? Like, basically Dark Arm Dragon, or something like that, where you can just blow up anything on the field by discarding. It's pretty good. So that's the XYZ Kaiser Seahorse. It's counts as 2 tributes for a light monster, so you can just tribute this to get Blue Eyes out without anything else. Put a couple of those in there, even though I tried to keep both of these decks solid to the limitations of the cards they used. They didn't use multiple copies of many things, so I can't remember. I'm not sure if he used more than one Kaiser Seahorse, or if he just maybe never drew into the other one. But it's pretty good in the deck, so I used at least 2 of this. Peyton the Dark Clown. This was kind of his replacement for an early card, Soggy the Dark Clown, if you know Kaiba's deck.
Soggy did nothing.
Yeah, Soggy did nothing, and Peyton's actually pretty good. Anytime Peyton goes to the graveyard, in any way really, once he hits the graveyard, you can banish him to special another Peyton from your deck. This would actually probably be pretty good now with Exceeding, since he's a level 3, because once you detach, he hits the grave. you can banish him, special another Peyton. I don't think I even thought of that until just now, but that would be useful.
That's really
yeah.
easy.
So anyway, Peyton the Dark Clown is a pretty good card. It's really good
it really
for.
works with that?
Yeah, and it's really good.
Yeah,
because
his special summon activates in graveyard, not from.
cool.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where it comes from. You know, in modern decks, you would you could even foolish barrel this if you wanted to.
Leave anyway.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure we can read the card.
This card is sent to the graveyard.
Yeah, sent to your graveyard.
because it
You
isn't
remove from play.
specified sent for the field or anything.
Yeah, so when you detach this as an exceed material,
I was supposed to go to work.
Yeah.
Only not.
when you detach this as an exceed material, it would basically, special another Peyton to the field. That would be really good, and if you're like wanting to swarm the field with rank 3s. So, yeah.
Well, he'd give you half of one anyway.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, if you're constantly dropping things, but yeah, so, I mean, there's decks that swarm with level 3s to do that. I think, like, in Zektor's, so maybe this would be good. But,
Yeah.
anyway, so Peyton's a good card. Mostly use it in this deck for tributing it. It brings out another monster, and it just keeps, like, I guess, field presence. Let's see. Blue Eyes, White Dragon. This is a legendary machine of destruction. Yeah, so it's pretty much the best card in the game. So.
He's got a favorite.
Yeah, very few people who face this card live to tell the tale. It's, 3,000 attack, 25 defense.
The original 3,000.
Yeah, the original 3,000 attack before any other monsters got up there. So when the first structure decks came out, and you were pretty much just summoning monsters to fight the other person with your monsters.
Yeah,
if someone dropped a Blue Eyes on you, it was kind of game over because there weren't a lot of cards to just field destroy and things like that. So, it was hard to attack over him. Obelisk the Tormentor.
You think Blue Eyes is bad?
Yeah,
this is Blue Eyes' big brother.
If you watch the deck profile for the Yugi deck, this one doesn't have Slifer yet, but the playable version just released this last week through Shonen Jump Alpha. So if you get a subscription for Shonen Jump Alpha now, you'll get Super Express Dreadnought Cannon Gustav Max in October, which is very much worth it.
So you have plenty of time to figure out how to
but you're too late to get Slifer. Only if you subscribe before can you get it. So it's going to be really hard to get. And anyway, once that one comes in, it'll go in the Yugi deck.
It'll probably get reprinted.
Yeah, I mean,
In
all
a
these
year.
will. Yeah, they get reprinted through tins and things like that. So or legendary collections. So, but Obelisk, this is a really good card. Like, you can actually use him in a lot of decks. Decks nowadays that swarm the field with monsters, it's easy to tribute and bring him out. But you kind of have to build to play him. Otherwise he can be dead a lot in your hand. Anyway, he is a 4,000 beater. Otherwise, takes 3 monsters to tribute summon him. There's no way around that really. You can special summon him any way you like, but it basically, if he's special summoned, he goes to the grave during the end phase. His normal summon can't be negated, and nothing can be activated in response to it. So you kind of want to tribute to bring him out because they can't stop it. If you special him, they can, trap hole or things like that. Which, by the way, bottomless trap hole, it doesn't target. So for anyone who doesn't know, that can kill him also. So can Mirror Force, Dark Hole, anything that doesn't target Obelisk can destroy him. Yeah, Torrential Tribute. But otherwise...
Smashing Grounds, I think, even.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. It's just the monster with the highest attack. So Smashing Ground could probably kill him. But, the way that I play him in other decks to bring him out is if you use a Hardened Arm Dragon as a tribute for him, he can't be destroyed by card effect. This video is going long.
Yeah,
anyway.
Traps go faster, so...
Okay, so, anyway, besides that, you can't target him with any effects, so he's pretty unstoppable, and he can tribute 2 monsters to blow up your opponent's monsters, all of them, and he can't attack that turn, he does it. Anyway, that's it for Obelisk. I think we're moving on to spells. Let's see, bring out a few, so we can just kind of go over them at once. Seal of the Ancients. all this does is it lets you look at your opponent's field. Anything that's face down, you get to take a look at it and set it back face down. It's just kind of good for knowing what you're running into, or if you're trying to like go for game or something. You know, it was a card Kaiba used, so it's in there. Let's see, Fiend Sanctuary. That's actually a really good one. It is mostly in here, and Kaiba uses it just to special summon a Metal Fiend token. And then, you know, you can tribute the token with something else to bring out a Blue Eyes or whatever. But the other effect is that with a Metal Fiend token, it's got a 0 attack. You kind of want to special it in attack position, and you can either ram it or let them just, if they want to attack into it, they take any battle damage from the battle. So 0 attack, but they'll take any damage. You can even win a game that way. I've done that before, so... the other thing is you have to pay life points every turn if you want to keep it on the field. Otherwise, it goes away. So, cost down. For this, all the monsters in your hand get downgraded 2 levels. You have to discard a card as a cost. It's just pretty much to make Blue Eyes a 1 tribute, or cards like Vampire Lord a level 4, so you can just drop it. This can actually be useful in decks today, because the effect lasts until the end of the turn. So you can manipulate the level of monsters in your hand if you want. Mm-hmm. You know, like level 4s to level 2s or so on. So this is kind of interesting. Enemy Controller, an original Kaiba card too, before Xbox. So, you know, kind of interesting. But I guess this could be a Dreamcast controller. Anyway, Enemy Controller, most people know what this does, but... it's pretty good because it changes battle position is one of the effects. You can use it to stop an attack, or just a lot of things during your opponent's turn. If they change their battle position, it can only be changed once per turn. So if you switch theirs to defense, it kind of shuts them down a little bit. It's pretty good. The other thing is you contribute one of your monsters to take control of theirs until the end of the turn. So pretty good. Let's see, Soul Exchange, really good card. You can't attack the turn you use it. But what it does is it lets you target one of your opponent's monsters to use as a tribute. So you can activate this, and Fiend Sanctuary, you've got your Fiend token, and you target one of your opponent's monsters. You tribute both of those, and there's your Blue Eyes for free. So you can also use this to target one of your opponent's monsters, to use for a tribute, use this card, and use their monster as the tribute cost to enemy controller, another monster. So it's kind of interesting. Another one of those, again, I think he only used one, but the idea was just that this deck, without all of Kaiba's trolling cards, I guess, is kind of hard to use. Polymerization, that's to make all your fusion summons, except for the XYZs, but the only card in here that shouldn't be in there really is 5-Head Dragon. Kaiba didn't use that. I just like to put it in every fusion deck. But... because it's a really good card. But yeah, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, your 3 Blue Eyes make this. So that's what polymerization's in there to do. Flute of Summoning Dragon, that's the one that explained that goes with Lord of D. Special summon 2 dragons from your hand. Dark Core, Kaiba card, you just discard a card from your hand, banish a face-up monster on the field. I believe.
I used to run that back in the day.
Yeah, it's a really good card. It was like one of the first ones that banished something. Megamorph. It's a good card. Kaiba uses it. You can, if your life points are lower than your opponent's, the monster equipped to this, its attack is doubled. I mean, it can make it a 1,000 attack, 2,000, or 2,000 monster, 4,000.
Or Blue Eyes, a bam from 6,000.
Or Blue Eyes is 6,000 attack.
And then becomes 8,000.
Yeah, except you can't equip it to Obelisk because he can't be targeted.
Oh, yeah. So you'd have to save it for like Slifer or Ra.
Yeah. Well, Slifer's got the effect that it can't be targeted either.
I'll just shut up.
Yeah, you can use it on Ra, though. So if Ra has 0 attack, you can make that 0.
Yeah.
But Megamorph, it has kind of like a drawback to if your opponent does something, or even if you attack them and then the difference in life points shift so that theirs are lower than yours, your monster's attack is halved. So it can cripple your monster. Monster Reborn your monster. Dark Hole, destroy all monsters in the field. No amount of cross out. another original Kaiba card that's pretty good. Just banish a face down defense monster.
Do you have no limit of determination?
Also, yeah, if it's a flip effect monster, it banishes any other copies from either player's deck.
Which used to be a big deal.
Yeah, because people used to use flip effects a lot. But
Yeah,
not so much
these
anymore.
days, maybe YGO does it.
Yeah, I don't know what flip effects people use anymore except Morphin Jar. Heavy Storm, destroy all spells and traps. Oh, there was a second Fiend Sanctuary. He probably only used one of those two. Oh, a third Fiend Sanctuary.
Oh.
Again, like this deck needs... yeah, Shrink. This was a really good card that for a long time, you know, and even mine, I don't know if I have holographic of this, but it was eventually
I used to.
reprinted as a common. And anyway, for a while it was played in a lot of like top decks because it's really good. Cut your opponent's monster in half with this. So let's see. Trap Hole. Just any monster with 1,000 or more attack that's summoned. Other than special summon, basically. You trap hole it, destroys it. Return from a different dimension. There's only a few things in here that would use this for your XYZ, not Exceed monsters, but X head cannon, X, Y, and Z dragon cannon kind of monsters. You can return them to the field when you activate this. You have to pay half your life points, but you special summon as many banished monsters as you can that turn, and then they're removed from play during the end phase, unless you exceed or things like that, which in this deck, it doesn't use any of that, but if you want to update the deck with current stuff, then you can do that. But you can also get back Paytons and things like that, and then tribute them. They'll go to your grave instead of removed from play, so it's pretty good. Call the Haunted. I think most people know what this does. It's like a monster reborn except continues trap. If it's destroyed, destroys the monster. Cloning, another card most people don't even know what it does when you activate it, because these are old cards. It special summons a token that has the exact same attack and defense and as the monster your opponent summons. So, you know, your opponent summons a, I guess let's say, what's a popular monster? I don't know, Absolute Zero, something like that.
I see how it is.
Yeah. So Absolute Zero, I think he has what, 2,500 attack. So
Yeah.
Starting.
yeah. So yeah, starting. Like most heroes or whatever. So cloning, you would chain this to his summon, and you get a 2,500 attack token. Thing is, it's destroyed or when the other monster leaves the field too. So it's mostly for defense or ramming or to tribute, whatever.
Yeah.
So, in this deck anyway. Spell Shield type 8. This one does a couple things. You can negate a spell card that targets a monster for free, pretty much. Or you can discard a card from your hand to negate any spell card's activation. So,
I used to love that card.
original kind of one of the first really good counter traps. And
Yeah.
it was used a lot. It was rare. And back then, your rare cards were really valued.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was basically an upgraded version of Magic
Jammer. Yeah. Kaiba used a lot of cards that kind of look like these devices, like a lot of virus cards too. Again, like Crush Card and things like that. They're not in here, but I was just trying to stick to advanced format. One card that is not in here, but is legal and he used is Virus Cannon. It's kind of a cool card he did also, is you tribute as many monsters as you want when you activate it, and your opponent has to mill that many spells from their deck. So, but this is kind of hard to use. Ultimate Offering. Anyway, this one, it's in the Yugi deck also. It's just a really good card, and it could still be good today if for Exceed summoning. Really good with gadgets. In this deck, it's just good for tribute summoning to bring out your Obelisk or Blue Eyes. The thing is, this is an old card. The text has been errated. It can be activated during your opponent's battle phase or during your main phase. You pay 500 life points per every extra normal summon you want to do that turn. So if you normal summon a monster, you can pay 500 more to normal summon again, pay 500 more, you know. And if you're using an updated deck, you can always exceed, you know, normal summon some more,
Easy way to
keep
get
exceeding.
Blue Eyes out if you found
You know.
monsters to work with.
Yeah, and easy to get Blue Eyes at. So you summon, pay 500, pay 500 more to tribute both, and normal summon your Blue Eyes. So, or you can set things. It's just kind of a neat card.
Especially during opponent's battle phase.
Yeah,
like,
especially
I'm
during,
just gonna set this
a
defensive
battle
position
phase.
monster that you gotta run over
You
now.
know, yeah, like and for
Oh, by the way, it's a cyber jar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can set the cyber jar. They'll probably attack into it because they won't think you're setting cyber jar. So, shadow spell. I remember I used to love this. Like when you get the first Kaiba deck, it's just
I think it was the second Kaiba deck actually.
Kaiba
the
deck
evolution.
Extreme. You activate it. It's kind of like the original Fiendish chain. It's the chains on their way to the Fiend, I guess. And what it does is, it keeps their monster from attacking that you target with it.
Doesn't
and
it look
that
like
monster's,
Fiend Sanctuary is wrapped up in Fiendish Chain?
Yeah, it looks like a Fiend Sanctuary monster wrapped up in Shadow Spell. So,
Yeah, basically.
And yeah, what this does, it drops their attack 700 and also keeps them from attacking. So it makes them weaker so you can kill them. Jar Greed. Kaiba used this is pretty good. Most people know that it's just a +1. You know, well, I don't know if that's a plus really, but yeah, you get to draw 1 card. So, and finally, negate attack. It's funny when we started this video, I accidentally had this on the top of the last video. Anyway, negate attack. You just negate their attack and end the battle phase. So, and I think that kind of completes it. Already kind of explained the extra deck, or if you're going by the old school rules, this is a fusion deck, not an extra deck. So some of these are for tag team duels. If you want to play with someone using both your Yugi and Kaiba deck against 2 other players in a tag team, you know, you can make Dragon Master Knight or things like that. But, so.
Oh wait, there was no poly.
Anyway,
yeah, he had a poly in there.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I must have.
Gotta make Blue
Yeah,
Eyes
yeah.
Ultimate Dragon
Gotta make Blue
somehow.
Eyes Ultimate Dragon.
He's got 3 of them, by the way. He's showing off.
Yeah. Yeah, everything, I tried to make everything as shiny as possible, and I think some of these are, let's see, this is a jump, and a duelist pack Kaiba.
How would you get all 3 out in one game?
You
I
wouldn't.
forgot that they used to make Secret Rare jump.
Yeah, you wouldn't get them all out, but, you know, why not? You have to have the most blue eyes as possible in a deck, otherwise you cannot win.
He's
So.
kind of.
It's the one way to win is just to have as many blue eyes white dragons in one deck.
That's how I feel about.
So, anyway, I think that does it for Kaiba.
A B.